Okay, a couple of parshas ago, we learned about the mitzvah of bringing the meiser of the first grown fruit. When a Jew has a tree, the mitzvah is for him to see which are the first fruits that come out, and to tie a string around those fruits. So you should know that these are the first fruits that actually blossomed, and bring those fruits afterwards to the Beis HaMikdash, to the Holy Temple. Now, once you get to the Holy Temple, there's a very interesting commandment that is really quite puzzling. What you need to do is you need to have a basket. In the basket, the fruits are supposed to be placed, and you give it to the priest, to the Kohen, and you are performing something which is called the confession of the tith, of the meiser, of the whatever it is that you have given. Now, the usual understanding of what a meiser is, of what a vidui is, what a confession is when you confess all the things that you did wrong. That's the meaning of confession. However, this particular confession is very peculiar in this sense, that you're not saying the bad stuff that you did. Instead, you're enumerating all the good stuff that you did regarding the meiser, that you are really careful with it, you behave with it the way you're supposed to behave with it. And not only this, once you're done, you're telling HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're telling God, okay, I did what I was supposed to do. Now, it's time for you to do what you're supposed to do. Bless your people Israel, and so forth and so on. What's going on here? What kind of an exchange is this, to begin with? And secondly, why is it called a confession when you're not saying, you're not enumerating in detail anything that you did wrong? Possible answer for this is the relationship, the usual relationship of people with the Kodesh Baruch Hu is extremely uneasy, to be honest. They don't really know what to do with him. I mean, they can get along with the congregation, they can get along with Torah, they can get along with a Rav, but they don't get along with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And it's not a new phenomenon either. When the people of Israel were in the desert, and right after they got the Torah from Kodesh Baruch Hu, and which, the giving of the Torah was an extremely shocking event, a very traumatic event. I mean, they say from the fear that their neshamas, their souls actually left their bodies and had to be returned. And you can understand that when you understand that Hashem is everything, and I mean, we are operating in a reality which we have many, many preconceived ideas and accepted assumptions on how life is. We feel basically good. Every once in a while we feel bad. Basically things are okay, so which allows us to concentrate on the few little things which are not okay, But still, if you have ever seen a thunder explode, like a video of a thunder exploding, and you can see a group of like tough men, like, I don't know, workers, athletes, whatever it is, and suddenly, boom, the thunder explodes, and they all jump like little kids from fright. When there's an earthquake, suddenly everybody loses their composure. You're holding yourself like, because the basic assumption of life, that there's a certain kind of stability, there's a certain kind of acceptance, accepted functionality to life, suddenly it gets rattled. When that happens, suddenly, you get scared, you get really scared. On Har Sinai, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed himself to the people, it wasn't that there is reality, and in the middle of the reality there was a hole, and out peeked HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Reality itself, was shaking. It's a very, very traumatic experience. For people who are believing Jews, their relationship with God is for the most part, it resembles a relationship to a policeman. In other words, you're happy he's there. You're happy he's taking care of you. You're happy he's protecting you. But you don't really want to step too close. You don't want to get too close. It's like a policeman. Don't look at me. Don't call me over. Don't tell me to step by the side to show my license registration. Just, don't look at me. I'm fine. Just go on. Just do what you're supposed to do, under the surface or behind there, whatever it is. Because we can handle this. We can handle HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's too powerful. He's too strong. He's too great. But this is not the kind of relationship we're supposed to have with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's good that we fear him, because that's the way it should be. But that's just the very beginning. This is just a basis so that we can have an established society. Because without fear of repercussions, the world will just go haywire. But that's not the ultimate relationship that one wants to have with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to have with you. Usually when a poor person comes to a rich man's house and he wants to ask for his assistance, the difference in relationship to one another is very, very clear. Everybody knows who's the rich guy, who's the poor guy. Okay? That is a subtle thing. And any kind of exchange between them is always going to be clear. So usually what happens is that the poor guy will come and he would, knock on the door. The rich man told him, let's say, come at 8 o'clock, or come at 9 o'clock, or come whatever. And the poor person will knock on the door and say, hello, is Mr. So-so at home? And they said, well, no, he had to run out. But he told me to come at 8 o'clock or whatever. Well, yeah, but he had a phone call and he had to run out. And the poor person, he has no choice except, to go away. And says, when should I come back? Try 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. And you can come and he's either there or he's not there. What happens if the rich person wants to make the poor person feel good? Excuse me. What happens if he wants to make him feel good about himself? Well, sorry, the most obvious thing that he would do, he would be there at the time that they set. If somebody calls him to go out, he would say, I can't because I have somebody coming in. Then when the poor man will come, you'll open the door, you'll say, well, hello, shalom aleichem, how are you, how do you feel? And then he'll tell him, why don't you come in, sit down, can I get you something to eat, something to drink, make a bracha, whatever it is, and then he'll ask him, how's the family, how you doing, whatever it is, and then you'll ask him when he's eaten, is he drunk, whatever it is, so what can I do for you? Now, obviously that does not mean that he's going to give him whatever he's asking for. Obviously, everybody still knows who is the rich guy and who is the poor guy. Okay? There's no equality there, but the poor man doesn't feel worthless. He feels, hey, he's looking at me, But what happens if the rich man wants to give the poor man a really, really, really good feeling about himself? He wants him to feel at ease. All this is a mashal that was given by Rav Kluger in his sefer. It's called Yichud HaHizbodedus, the singularity of the Hizbodedus, the solitary habit of talking to Kodesh Baruch Hu alone, as person to person. What happens if the rich person really wants to make the poor person feel really, really good about himself? What he does is, obviously he's there at the allotted time, and he opens the door. And when the guy comes in, when the poor man comes in, he tells him, oh, wow, thank God you came. I really, really need your help. I have a problem, and I really don't know what to do about it. Come, please, do me a favor, sit down, let me tell you what my problem is, and you see if you can help me. Well, now the poor person is stepping in. He is still the poor person, and the rich person is the rich person. That is clearly defined. But there's a certain equality between them. There's a precocity. He needs me, I need him. There's a relationship. Well, I remember many years ago, I was in America. I was going through a tough time. And during that period, I remember, there is this a portion in Sichos Aran in which Rabbi Nachman says that if a person complains that things are going badly, because Baruch Hu says, you think this is called badly? Let me show you what badly means. Or conversely, when a Jew is saying, wow, my life is peachy, it's wonderful. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, you think this is wonderful? Let me show you what wonderful really is. Now, I didn't really understand this saying. I thought that you couldn't say that things were tough or things were hard, even between you and Hashem. It's only later that I found out that means, You should not just, live your life and tell people how miserable your life is, but rather go around telling people how wonderful your life is. Between HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you can say everything and anything. But anyhow, I was under the impression that even to Hashem I couldn't say that. So I came to talk to Hashem. Zbeididus. And I was really down and out at that period of time. And I did something that I really shouldn't have done. I spoke to Hashem and I told him, to be honest with you, I don't know what I'm doing here. I mean, what can I tell you? If I tell you that things are bad with me, you'll say, you think this is bad, let me show you what bad really is. So I can't say anything. On top of that, even worse than that, whatever it is that I tell you, you're right. You're God. You know everything. So whatever I'm going to say is worthless, and it's puny, and it's... So what do you want from me? So what do you need me here? I told her, something, I'll tell you what. You do what you want anyhow. You know better. So I'll tell you what. Here, you do what you want. I'm going home to sleep. And I actually went home to sleep. Now, along the way, going home, I was fearful because, this is God. And so I apologize for speaking so bluntly, but the bitterness was so deep that it just exploded out of me. Well, it took me a day or two to internalize the fact that God knowing better is not like you're talking to another friend who's smarter than you, and there's an argument or disagreement, and he happens to know more than you, and he's like, or maybe your boss, that has the authority over you or whatever. That's not what it is. That Hashem is reality itself. He's the essence of goodness and wisdom itself. He really does know. And his knowledge is overriding like a parent that knows what's better for his kid. But it's an all-knowing parent. So I came and I told Hashem, okay, listen, I got it. I really do. I got it. I realize that your wisdom is not, quantitatively or qualitatively, bigger than mine. But you read. I understand that. But I said, but do me one favor. Just tell me one thing. Why on earth does it have to be so difficult? Why does it have to be so hard? Then something very strange happened. I didn't hear any voices, I felt myself telling myself in my heart, like I was compelled to tell myself this in my heart. A very strange retort. I said to myself, if not for that, What do I need you for? Now, it was a very strange statement for two reasons. First of all, I knew it was true because it's a basic tenet. Kodesh Baruch Hu has gazillions of angels that do whatever it is that he says, whatever he wishes. But none of them have to work with, to fight against a Yetzer Hara. Over here, you have a human being who has to go through life and he's fighting Yetzer Hara, he's fighting whatever it is, his nature is, whatever difficulties he's facing. This is the reason why Kodesh Baruch Hu created the world. But nevertheless, the statement was flip. If not for that, what the heck do I need you for? It was like a stump in the nose a little bit. And I started laughing. I started laughing out loud that I thought I was doing this not far from a cemetery, a Jewish cemetery. I thought that the dead would rise. I was laughing so hard. Because what I actually experienced in that time was not that I was standing in front of Hashem and we were having an exchange, but rather that Hashem was standing right next to me, like he was having his arm around my shoulder, and we're both looking at this dysfunctional, pathetic thing called my life. And Hashem was telling me, listen to me, Aaron Pinchas, from the very point that I created the world, I thought about creating the world, all the way down to now, and all the way to the very end, after Tchias HaMesim, after the great judgment day, this entire creation is not complete without this life having been lived. That life of yours, that life that you're struggling with, whatever it is that you're struggling with, and the things that you absolutely cannot do even though you should be doing, your dysfunctions, your frustrations, that life, this life, it has to be lived in order for the entire creation to be complete. And then he tells me, and nobody can live this life for me except for you. You're the only one who can do it. Do me a favor. Live this life for me. I'll take care of you. I promise I'll take care of you. By the way, there's coffee here.
Thank you.
Live this life for me. Do me a favor. I can't begin to tell you the kind of moral strength that I got from this realization. Because the flip side of, if not for this, what do I need you for, is I need you for something else. I have to have you. I need you. Well, that's a whole different ballgame. Now I'm a commander soldier who is running on a mission, who is facing the enemy. And the entire battle is not complete without that particular mission being completed. My small and seemingly pathetic life is an irreplaceable cog in this entire machine called the Bria. Well, now that's a different kind of relationship altogether. We both know who the rich man is and who the poor man is. We all know who is the creator and who is the created. That is clear. But he needs me. I cannot move, I cannot exist without him. But he needs me. He definitely and really, absolutely needs me. The proof is that I exist. He's taking care of me in my life, the things that I do. Gives me food, gives me shelter. He takes care of everything around it. And I'm facing problems all the time. But I keep on existing. I don't remember what the problems were 6 months ago, 3 years and 3 months and 2 days ago. I don't remember any of that. It's not important. I had to face it, I did, and I moved on. That's a whole different kind of relationship between man and God. In order for such a relationship to be possible, it has to start with me coming over and saying the good stuff that I did as well. If he's the policeman, if he is, the threatening, the threatening reality that he is, then all I do is just, I clap on my chest and I confess for everything, what I did, what I didn't do, whatever. Just don't hurt me. Just don't hurt me. I did this and I did that and I did this and I did that. I didn't do it, doesn't matter. Let's consider it as if I did it. The whole thing is just don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. But if a relationship is that he needs me as well, well, I've never done anything good in my life. I've never given tzedakah. I never learned Torah. I never did a favor to anybody. I never did a mitzvah. I never put on tefillin in the morning. I never davened in a minyan. A real relationship has to bring into account the good stuff that I did, as well as the bad stuff that I did. This is a true relationship. To the point that it has to start with me bringing, the basket with the fruit that I got, which I got as a gift. I worked for it 100%, but that doesn't guarantee me that I will have fruit. It means there's a possibility that fruit will grow. If chas v'chalila there's a dryness, or there's famine, whatever it is, no fruit, no matter how hard I work. By the fact that when I bring it, I mention my good points. I davened. I did this good and this good. And you don't have to worry about gaiva, because the minute that you mention the good stuff that you did, you will see 100 different points of view of why what you did was really not as good as you thought. But there's a good point in there. That starts a relationship in which the confession is a real confession. The relationship is a real relationship. And you can feel the value of your life. And the relationship you have between you and Hashem is meaningless. It's vibrant. And gives you the energy to do what you need to do and to feel that you are renewing yourself in any moment. Every moment. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new mission. It doesn't matter if I'm stupid, if I'm clever, if I fall, if I get up. It doesn't matter. I just need to confront what I need to confront the best I do, the best I can do, and go ahead. And then come to Daddy at the end of the day and talk to him about it and say how frustrated I am, say the good stuff that I did. It's no longer, a policeman that I have to hide from, but rather an awesome father and a king with whom I have a unique relationship. I absolutely need him, and he absolutely needs me. Hashem should help us.